What's up? What's up? Good evening, everybody. How you doing? Welcome. We're back at another one. January 2nd, 2022. Did the Knicks do anything different tonight? Absolutely not. They lost again. They got beaten bad by a Toronto Raptors team that you can tell they've been working together for years. By Mr. Fred Van Fleet. That $30 million contract that he wanted looks like it's substantial because man, what a show he put on against us tonight. You could tell the Knicks are just. I'm sorry to say this, guys. There's a reason I have these trash bags right behind me, and there's a reason I have those bags with the Knicks jerseys on because it's getting to that point right now. I gotta be honest with you guys. I think it's another rebuilding year, and just the way I see it, there's no leadership. There's no hunger from these guys. I think last year was just a fluke season, playoff appearance, and I think we're back to square one. And I think us watching the Knicks right now is like, when you watch your kids play in the summer league or in a summer basketball camp and they fall down and they hurt themselves and they bobble the ball and you say, "Good job, little Jake," or "Good job, little buddy. Keep up the good work." And we come up with so many excuses for them because that's what we do as Knicks fans. We hold our players high on pedestals, but enough is enough. Things need to change. This team, I'm tired of making up excuses for them. Just tired of defending them. It's getting to a point that something needs to be done. But I'm Joey the Chewy. Welcome. Nothing but positive vibes. You're here with me on Family Above Everything. Salute to you guys in Nick Nation, everybody out there in the world. And we're going to get Zen Ray from Zen Ray Sports TV in here.
It's the lineup that we sent out there. Welcome, Juby. Another loss here at Toronto. Empty arena in Toronto. You would think the Knicks would play a little better. Obviously, we get the same result with the same players that we were kind of looking up for these young kids to do something. I was kind of bashing Toppings in a little text with you earlier, but he turned out considering we had no length and no height on this team because of our injuries and because of the COVID protocols, the safety protocols. Toppings didn't play too bad. In 45 minutes of play, he distributed 19 points and he had 3 block shots, 6 assists, 6 rebounds. So not a bad game for Topping overall, but this team overall, you have to get a lot more from this team. I don't know what to say. I think it's a work in progress, obviously. I think that we have a chance for the playoffs, but it's not as high up in the seeds that we were talking about early in the year.
How you doing, Ray? Salute to you guys there in his chat. Mr. Ray is more optimistic than I am feeling right now. There's a reason I have this garbage behind me, and there's a reason why I have these 2 Knick fans with bags over their heads, because it's just shameful to what we're seeing right now. Time and time again, like I explained to you earlier, us as Knick fans hold our players on high pedestals and we make up excuses and we make their value more than what it's set out to be. But what I saw tonight, like I made a little joke with you a lot about, and I explained to my chat as well, is when you watch your son play in a summer basketball league and he falls down and he bobbles the ball and you say, "Good job, little Johnny, just get up, you'll make it okay," and you give him a pat on the back. That's exactly how these players are playing right now. Enough is enough. I'm just fed up with watching what I'm seeing. And I'm not making up no more excuses for these guys. I'm sorry to say this, guys, but I'm seeing a product that is inevitable. I see a long season ahead, and I know you guys are going to say, "Oh, Juby the Tubby, it's just 2 games. The guys are out. They're hurt. Julius Randle's not there. The guys are young. They need to develop." And time and time again, we're going to go right back to the same song. And like you like to say, Zenray, fool's gold in general for us as Knicks fans, because the sky is the limit where there actually is a ceiling above these guys. That's how I feel tonight.
Well, I look at it this way. We don't have our team, and it looks like we do miss like a Mitchell Robinson and the man who stirs the drinks in Julius Randle. Van Vliet, who is the engine that runs that team, the leader, something that we're still looking for in terms of our point guard. We thought it was Kemba Walker, But Kemba Walker is only the leader when he's here.
Part
When he's
timer.
not here, he's not effective. So give me a player who's going to be here with the team 5 days, 6 days, 7 days a week consistently without having any knee issues, and then we'll talk about leaders or leadership on our team. Van Vliet scores a season high of 35 points, and the Raptors rocked the Knicks 120-105. Fred Van Vliet scored 19 of his high 35 points in the third quarter. That third quarter was a joke. They scored 40 points on us. No defense is the word in that third quarter. Or maybe Toronto had this overwhelming offense that they're a good team and everything, but you give them 40 points, you're definitely not doing something defensively. Pascal Siakam had 20 points and 14 rebounds. The Toronto Raptors extended their home winning streak against the Knicks to 11 games by bleeding a depleted New York team. Depleted or not, let's show some effort. Let's show the game down to the last 3 minutes where you're still in the game. The Knicks have not shown this with this young group, this young rookie staff that everybody's talking about. Nick Nation, play Obi, play McBride, and I'm very high on McBride, but these youngsters obviously is not ready. This is what Thibodeau is seeing in practice. That's why you don't see a lot of this. You would think Grimes, out of anyone who played great with our starting unit, would show a little more something today. He didn't as well. Barrett, Fournier, topping probably the bright spots for the Knicks. Even Taj Gibson, he led the team in rebounds. But nothing compared to Fred Van Vliet, Siakam, who had 7 assists as well, had 14 rebounds. You're talking about apples and oranges here. Toronto is the team that's always going to make the playoffs. They're going to compete, and they may surprise a lot of teams in the playoffs. That's how good this team is, and they're always building with the right young talent coming up and being developed to a point where you see players coming in and just taking up the slack from others not doing well. They bring somebody in and they're effective. So that's the big difference between us and Toronto. We're not at that level yet. Hopefully, we'll be there one day.
Yeah. Quinton Grimes finished with 13 points, quiet 13 points. He must have got that in that fourth quarter towards the end. Because, like you said, I didn't see anything from him tonight. McBride, who I was rooting to have a bounce back game. There was an article on the Post today about how he's ready to take that starting job and lead the Knicks. So much for that. He's still a young kid. You know what? I bash and I joke. And it's just that I'm so frustrated because I know what us as Knicks fans want, and it's not being done. But 2 points, 3 rebounds, 15 minutes only of play. So he didn't play a whole lot. And like you said, Zenray, Coach Tibbs must have seen something either in practice or in the game itself, because he even pulled him out of that starting rotation in that third quarter. He went with Alex Burke to start the third quarter rather than McBride. So he saw something that he didn't like at all. There's a lot of speculation. There's a lot of rumors again. We're at that time of year. I saw an article again about Ben Simmons. I think it was a crazy, crazy amount to give up for Ben Simmons. Like, they talked about Obi Toppin, Kemba Walker, and Evan Fournier, and I think 3 picks for Ben Simmons. And these picks are like protected, unprotected within the next 3 to 4 years. I don't know. I don't know how you feel about that, Zemri. What's your take on that? 3 to 4 picks along with Fournier, Toppin, and Kemba Walker to put Julius Randle, Ben Simmons, and R.J. Barrett as a trio. What's your take on that?
I like the fact that just alone Ben Simmons on the defensive end can create more points for us. We don't have that leadership in that point guard where people say, look, in all sports, I believe defense is what wins you games. And if we get back to the 90s Knicks where we played that defense, we only score between 90, 95 points. Sometimes we'll be in the 80s because it's our defense, okay? We slow down the pace. We play that defensive ball. We have to get back to that. And the way we played last year defensively, we have to get back to that. Right now, our point guard situation, as much as we criticize the point guard that we trashed last year, and we spoke about it in our last show briefly,
Peyton.
He was the defensive presence on that team. Maybe he didn't score a lot, but we won a lot of games with a defensive presence. We don't have that. We don't have that in our in our point guard and in our shooting guard. So we have two weak links right there. I mean, I was seeing people going by Fournier today like, wow. I mean, he scored his 20 points, but defensively, when you have a lot of players who have defensive deficiencies, uh, that's where Ben Simmons can help us. And the points will come with him because he doesn't need to score. And Tibbs will love him just the fact that he'll drive to the hoop and get his points. That's what made Derrick Rose back in the days in Chicago. I think that's what they want, 3 picks and those players. If I would say give those players and maybe give 2 of those players, and if Ben Simmons makes an all-star team in the next 3 years, you give him that additional pick. You can be creative with this. I won't give him 3 first-rounders at this juncture. At this juncture, we need help. You get the younger version. Would you rather have him or Lillard? At this point, I would go for Ben Simmons. He has a big upside still. He's still 23 years of age. So right now,
he just can't shoot. That's my concern with him. That I mean, we're giving up Evan Fournier, who's, like you said, when you have a leader and you have a point guard, he's a great spot up 3-point shooter. But if you give up him, Kemba Walker, and Obi Toppin, a bright, star future potential, you're getting back a defensive point guard facilitator who cannot shoot the ball. He can drive the ball, which is what Tom Thibodeau loves, but where are we going to get the shooting? That means that it would have to be that move, and we would have to do another move like a Eric Gordon from the Houston Rockets, something on the side, just to make sure that our shooting from the outside is still intact. Because if you give up Evan Fournier, that's basically your starting shooting guard. RJ Barrett goes back to the shooting guard. Then your small forward, I guess, would be Quentin Grimes and Julius Randle and Mitchell Robinson. Luckily, hopefully Derrick Rose comes back, because, man, I got to tell you, Derrick Rose is missed right now. I'm watching that second unit also, and it just shows you how much Derrick Rose means to this team. Even if he didn't have a great scoring night, just his presence on the floor, him just orchestrating that second unit offense. Right now, he's definitely missed. We missed Mitchell Robinson tonight for sure, and Aaron's Noel, because they were just driving at will and shooting at will. There was no defensive effort. But these are some of the rumors that are back intact again. Again, it's that time of year where we're going to hear a lot of speculations, a lot of rumors. It's just, at the end of the day, we don't make the decision. Knicks management does. But we just have to come to realization that this team may not be together for too long, all of them. We may have to say goodbye. In order to move forward, you got to give something in return. And I anticipate that we're gonna be giving up, maybe parting with some players that you and myself and a bunch of other Knick fans out there are not going to be happy. But we have to understand that it's to better the team, because right now this team is in shambles in that point guard position.
I agree. I mean, Topping, think about it. Where's Topping going to do right now with the team? He's not going to get no playing time. He's still going to get the 10 to 12 minutes per game. Sometimes he'll get 20 a minute per game type of thing. But Topping is that's a luxury to come off the bench. Randall is the guy who's going to be there. So let's just be honest with Randall. You get Ben Simmons in here. Unfortunately, I'm not giving up on Topping. But like you said, you have to give something to get something. And I believe you're giving him up, and you give Fournier up, and you probably
Kemba Walker. No, Kemba Walker. Kemba Walker.
Okay.
It's Kemba Walker, Fournier, and Obi, and 3 picks.
Okay. I mean, I would do that. I would minus one of the picks, and you get 2 picks. And if Ben Simmons makes an all-star team in the next 2 years, we'll give an additional top 10 protected pick, something like that, something creative. Right now, at this juncture, the Knicks have a work in progress that they need an extra injection of a new player, and it starts with the point guard, which is the most important thing on an NBA roster. It's like the quarterback in the NFL, and it's like the center on hockey. And in baseball, is usually your pitcher who dominates the game. If you don't have those type of players on the team, majority of the time is it's a losing effort on one end, because defensively you need a leader in that end, and also you need someone who can shoot the ball, who can distribute the ball. And I think Ben Simmons will be the type of player for New York.
Yeah. I mean, listen, well, I hate to see Obi go if that was to happen, of course. I'm a big Obi fan. He has that old school vibe to him. But at the same time, we want to see players be successful. Like you said, I don't think he has a career in this city just because Julius Randle is the man that stirs the drink. He's the man who signed that 4-year deal of $110 million. So unless you're moving Julius Randle out of New York to give Obi Toppin that starting position, and listen, he's very capable. His shooting can improve, his defense can improve a little bit, but 45 minutes today, he gave you 19 points. And let's be honest, this is what Julius Randle has really been doing, with the exception of shooting the three a little bit better. He didn't have as many turnovers as Julius Randle, but he's very capable of it. The problem is that money is not hard to move, but you're gonna have to find a team that is so desperate to win now that needs a player of his caliber to help them get over that hump. And I just don't see. I mean, I would figure Philly would be interested rather than asking for all these picks, or maybe throw in a Julius Randle and Evan Fournier and a Kemba and a number one for Ben Simmons and somebody else who can shoot the ball. I mean, I really don't know at this point. It's a tough situation. Again, I said it in the past. I'm glad I'm not on Knicks management, but you better believe it that Ross, Tibbs, Perry are all looking at each other right now and saying it is January 2nd. I know we got some key players who are missing, but if we continue making up excuses, we're going to be sitting here in April saying, let's pack it up and finish out the year, and we'll see you guys back in October or in the draft. So they got to make a decision by next month whether they're going to continue down this path with this team and just develop them, or they're going to look to strike and make this team competitive this year while keeping their young kind of core intact, but also improving their offensive firepower.
Listen, I agree. It takes one trade and one trade only to make this Nick unit turn into a defensive unit. And Ben Simmons is probably top 5 defensive point guard out there. He's probably, I always say Brooks is our best perimeter defensive player next to Grimes. Ben Simmons will wipe the plate clean, and he'll be the head guy there. So now you'll have 3 players on that team who can play that perimeter defense that we need. And Ben Simmons is the best. He can do so much. He also rebounds. He throws assists. I mean, right now, the shooting is an issue, but he'll learn that. How long did it take Rondo before he started hitting some clutch playoff shots in the playoffs when he was with Boston? So it takes players a little longer. I think with the right coaching and the right the team, he's still young. He still has a lot of upside in him. He can be a so much better player than he is now. And with that said, he's still an all-star caliber player.
Yeah, and we got to remember, Rajon Rondo wasn't a great shooting point guard back in his Boston Celtics days. And look at the player that he turned out to be. And he got rings to show for it as well. And he's a bona fide all-star. So you don't have to shoot. You just have to be able to mesh well with a team. And I think you said it right. I think with this team, he would be the number one defensive guy. And I can imagine a team with him, Mitchell Robinson, Alex Burke on the defensive end, Quentin Grimes, will be a presence to reckon with on the defensive end. The whole thing is Philly interested, because these are just speculations, on this kind of move, and are the Knicks management and staff, because I know Tibbs will gladly accept this move. Tibbs wants to make things happen, but is the Knicks management office willing to let go of some of these these youngsters to get back anything, to get back something in return? That's the problem, because they invested a lot in these young guys over the last few years. They gave up players, and they moved up in the draft, and they tanked, and they did a whole bunch of stuff in the Porzingis trade. So are they willing to sit there and say, you know what? Let's forget about the youth movement technically. Let's keep some of them intact and bring back these star players. And we're going to give up some assets to make our team better now and in the next year or two. Or are they going to sit there and say, you know what? We know where we are right now. I think our team is like 3 to 5 years away from being a bona fide contender in this league. These are the decisions they have to make.
Yeah, look at the New Jersey Brooklyn Nets when they made a trade for Harden. They gave up a lot of players in that trade, but they got the right player on the team. The same thing. They picked up Durant as a free agent. They picked up the guy from Detroit that was a slam dunk guy. I'm thinking of his name. They pick up players
Blake
here and
Griffin.
great Blake Griffin, and they make these type of players who are probably over the hill, but give them minimum minutes like we do with Derrick Rose. You create a nice solid bench, a nice solid team. The Knicks just need a general that can run the floor, that's on the floor. Right now, we spoke about Kemba, how high we were on Kemba, but I had a feeling we were playing with fool's gold again. He is not the same player. When his knees are bad, you can only play limited minutes. You can't play on back-to-back. And you need the same unit over and over so the unit could be cohesive, not only through practice, but on game time. And that's what the Knicks are missing. Right now, the Knicks are 17-20, and with 37 games in. We still have another half of the season to go. And let's hope that the records reverse. Just say we reverse the records. We're around a 500 team. I don't see the Knicks making a grand jump. What you see is what you get with this team. You're not going to see anything else until we get that point guard, Juby. This team is going to be lackadaisical. And just get us a defensive guard who can play defense. Kemba Walker cannot do it. Fournier obviously can't do it. So obviously that front court is in trouble defensively. That's why we're giving over 100 points almost every game. If you look at the 37 games, and I'm just guessing now, the 37 games we have played, I say about 30 of those games we gave up over 100 points.
Yeah,
and maybe it's a little less, but that's on the defensive end. You score 105 points, you should win. You should be able to win a lot of games in the NBA, but defense wins games in all aspects of sports. Football, baseball, defense is the name of the game.
Yeah. And, they shot 33% from three-point range. They were better at their free throws tonight. They only missed 5. But still, to only score 18 points in the second quarter and then give up, to Toronto, they gave 30, 26, 40, and 24. They may make an effort at the end, but they're already getting blown out, and they lost by 15 points. So that's why they scored 31 in the fourth quarter, because Toronto kind of just was like, let them go on a little run, but they were getting destroyed. I was making dinner and watching the game, and I even stopped watching the game. I was like, what, forget it. I was like, this is just a lost cause right now. Let me just face reality that we are a 500 mediocre team, if at best, unless something happens, and we said the other day that we're going to find out what this team is made of. I think we're going to find out what this team, Knicks management, is made of, and where their heads are. Is Mr. Jim Dolan going to say, we need the money, I need the money, the economy is bad, go out and get me a Ben Simmons, I don't care what it takes? Or are they going to sit there and say, let's still run with the young crew, the young guns, and it doesn't matter if it takes us a few years, we're going to stick by our gut, and they're going to eventually be all-stars. Only time will tell. This is a business world, and right now this product is not producing. And if you're a Knicks fan, and if you're a season ticket holder, like right now, if you're a Knicks fan, are you going to spend $300 to go watch a team that has the potential to lose to the Houston Rockets, the Detroit Pistons? I'm not even going to mention Toronto because they're a decent team. But when you got teams like that beating us, you're not going to spend $300-400 to go and watch watch these games, because chances are the Knicks are going to lose, and you're going to sit there and say, I went to have a good time, wanted my Knicks to win, but we lost. I just wasted $400 just on tickets. So I'm thinking of a business fan aspect of it. Jim Dolan is all about the money. He's all about pleasing his fans, but he is all about the green. And right now, this product is not producing for him. And I can guarantee you, if this keeps going down this track, ticket sales are going to drop abysmal, and you're going to see a lot of season ticket holders, including Spike Lee, might say, hey, anybody want to go to a game tonight? And he's not going to want to go.
I don't. If the Mecca of Madison Square Garden is always going to sell their tickets. You got some loyal fan base, Knick Nation people.
Listen, you remember the Terry Cummings days. I'm not even gonna the Chris Dudley.
We're not there, Juby. Come on, we're not there yet. Right now, the Knicks are in disarray. They're injured. It tells you how valuable Randall is to this team. Okay, it tells you how valuable Mitchell Robinson is. Well, you don't have these players. Are you expected to beat Toronto? You have these young kids who are in disarray. They don't know the organization of the team. They don't know the speed of the game as of yet. So we have a lot to be grateful that we do have a team that's almost there. It needs a little more star power in our team. Ben Simmons would help, but Damian Lillard would help, because our next game against the Pacers, we're playing at home, January 4th, which is the next on Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. This is a game that we should go out and attack and win. Hopefully, we'll get Mitchell Robinson back, which I don't think he'll be there. Julius Randle won't be there. I think the next game these guys will be available will be on January 8th when the Knicks play at Boston. I think that's the next game. That's like 3 games from now, or 2 games from now. The Knicks right now go with the flow. And Leon Rose, he's a patient person. But like I said, if Dolan gets involved, which I hope he doesn't, he would want us to make moves right away. But we have to be patient. I trust Leon Rose. I trust Thibodeau. Let this play out a little bit. Let's not go back to the Terry Cumming days. We're not there yet with that. Let's wait until Mitchell Robinson and Julius Randle come back. So it tells you how important we are. We're just a point guard away to maybe compete for that second round of the playoffs, Juby.
Well, you're very optimistic. While you're talking, I'm getting a tweet that somebody just put out. The Knicks and Lakers trade sends Anthony Davis to New York.
I heard that one.
Yeah. So it just kind of tells you like how my thought process is. Like, I know you're giving the benefit of the doubt, but being a Knicks fan since 1990, we're in 2022 right now, and I know there's a lot of Knicks fans who got the privilege of seeing the 70-something. I haven't seen a Knicks championship. As close as I got was in 94 and in 99, where we go to the Spurs. Other than that, my Knicks have not been the same since, let's be honest, the 90s. We had a couple of stints with Carmelo Anthony in the 2000s with Linsanity. When we got Stephon Marbury, there was the big hype. Oh, the Coney Island kid is coming back. But I'm just tired. I'm so tired of trying to put my team. It's like a Mets fan. A Mets fan always says the Mets are incredible. They're the best team in baseball. But or the Jets. And the Jets haven't been good in you don't know how many years. So I just want to be able to be proud. I'm still a proud Knicks fan. I know what we're capable of. I'm just frustrated with what I'm seeing out on the court. And something definitely needs to be done. That's what I got to say.
Julie, I understand your sentiment and Knicks Nation sentiment, but we have to be patient. That's the Leon Rose way. Now, if Dolan gets involved, that's going to create a monster that we won't want to feed. Because once we get him started, we're going to go back to the same training for Carmelo Anthony, giving all these picks and players up. Let's be patient. We need a point guard. If we get a Lillard and a Ben Simmons here, we need a general. We don't have a general. Kemba Walker is a part-time soldier, and we need a full-time general on that floor to make this Knicks unit run cohesively.
Facts. Well said, man. We'll see what happens, man. Like I said, Tuesday they got Indiana. Evan Turner comes to town. Another guy that was mentioned in a whole bunch of trade speculations this season. So, with that said, I myself am pretty much wrapped up for tonight. I kind of want to go to sleep and forget about what kind of game I saw. And I look forward to Tuesday's game. And hopefully we come out. Maybe Norins Noel comes back. And we got our big man back in the center of the paint, defending our paint. But only time will tell. I'm taking it one day at a time.
I agree, Juby. With that said, the Knicks lose this afternoon, 120 to 105. We'll be on. Me and Juby, myself, will be on after the Indiana game on Tuesday. And with that said, Zen Real, let the universe enlighten Knicks Nation, enlighten you, Jubies, and myself. Knowing that the best is yet to come, with love, peace, and gratitude.
Thank you, my brother.
You take care of yourself. And once again, Happy New Year to you and your whole Juby, the Tubi family above everything stream, and all the people who are following us. Greatly appreciate it.
Thank you. Likewise, my brother. Have a great night. All right.
Zen Ray out. Thank you.
All right. All right, guys. That was Zen Ray with Zen Ray's Sports TV. Very optimistic. Very excited. He has high hopes. Me, I'm kind of floating and wishing and hoping, and only time will tell. Until then, this is Juby the Tubi signing off, saying, as always, family above everything. Stay safe, guys. Peace.
We are the New York Knicks. 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 Say go New York, go New York, go. Go New York, go New York, go. Say go New York, go New York, go. Go New York, go New York, go. We're back on track, here we come. League is starting 21 and the Knicks are on a run. And I'll tell you with Tibbs, we have bit too much to handle. With Barrett, Bullock, Burst, and Randall, it's the Knicks and we're taking back our place. Everyone's gearing up with a mask on the face. The guard's going crazy and they're doing it for a reason. It's 20